Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Valhalla again. I'm just coming on here to tell you my first story. Sorry about my lip and my little cut in my head here. It's very dry in Canada right now, and it is so dry. It's made my skin so dry. But anyways, I was thinking a little bit about the progression of the stories I want to tell you, and I started thinking about my earliest memory, which in retrospect actually probably was my first psychic vision. When I was a very young child, I was probably about kindergarten, or maybe grade one. I was very young, and our teacher would read us books, and I would see, so my psychic visions, I've explained it. I usually see it like TikToks or it comes in thoughts. I've explained that in a previous video. So when I was a child, they'd be reading, and I can still see my normal vision, but it's like it goes over your normal vision. And I would see, it was a bird's eye view of me flying around places that I would say look like maybe northern Canada or like Alaska, places like that were colder, maybe northern. Maybe that's why very I feel very close to Norse mythology. Maybe that's why. I'm not really sure. But what I would see was a vision of a bird's eye view. So I couldn't see what I was, but I know it couldn't have been like, say, a pterodactyl like in the dinosaur times, because the reason I know that is because I can remember what kind of trees and stuff I was seeing. So it actually might have been very close to, and this is sorry, I should have said this is a past life experience, a past life vision that I've seen since I was a kid, or when I was a kid, very often. So it was a bird's eye view, and I'm pretty sure I was a bird. I don't know what kind, but I feel very close to certain birds, like ravens, or like crows, ravens, crows, eagles, hawks, even turkey vultures. People think turkey vultures are disgusting because they eat a lot of the food, like animals that have already been eaten. But actually, we need those animals to, keep the world running. And they're actually beautiful birds. If you actually see one and see the wingspan of these birds, they are some of the most beautiful birds, turkey vultures. But anyways, but I don't know what kind of bird I was. I just know that I was flying, and it might not have been a bird, but I can't think of anything else that was flying at that time. And I would see, from what I remember, I can't remember a lot of the other trees, but I do remember seeing pine trees. A lot of pine trees. I can't remember any of the other trees anymore, but I remember pine trees. That's always the thing that's always stayed with me. So that happened when I was a kid. And the reason I want to go into this one day, there is a reason that some people can remember past life experiences. It's usually not much, and it's usually broken up into pieces. Or just a little bit of knowledge, and there is a reason for that. There's a reason why we don't know all of our past life things we've gone through. If we have gone through, not everybody's gone through past life lifetimes, but the people who have, there's a reason why we can't remember them all, and I will get into that in another video, because there is a very good reason for that. But that's not the main showcase of today, I guess you could say. So I wanted to kind of I wanted to start on a good note, I guess, now that I was thinking of everything that's been happening to me since I've grown up, and I've learned a lot about myself. And kind of when I turned around 32, my psychic abilities and everything really like ramped up out of nowhere, and I started understanding a lot more things about myself, and also a lot of things about life. And the older you get, the more you learn about life, especially. But yeah, so it's been a growing experience for sure. But anyways, we'll start on a good note here from one of my first um and these things that I'm going to be telling you, the stories, before I start getting into videos about like why we don't remember past life regressions and why we don't why certain vibrations are higher and lower and middle and stuff like that. The first ones I'm going to be telling you are like paranormal stories that happened to me, which might mix with those at some point. But anyways, so I'm just going to tell you my first paranormal story, and I'm just going to call it Ghost Grandma. So when I was a teenager, I was going through a lot of a really hard time, and I don't know if I want to put this on here because I'm not monetized, but I'm just going to put a trigger warning. If you have any mental health problems or any, if you have any severe mental health problems or problems with just anything mental health wise, maybe skip ahead or just maybe don't watch this video, because we're going to be talking about a sensitive subject maybe here for like a second. So I don't want to say the word, but it starts with an S. I was going through S thoughts, if you guys can understand. Sue and the rest thoughts, okay? That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. And I wish I could go back and smack myself and say, oh my God, Steph, your life is just, when you're in high school, what are you worrying about? But this was even before I think I got hit by the drunk driver, intoxicated driver. So anyways, I believe my grandparents at that time, they were deceased, but I do believe especially my grandfather was around. And I remember I was very young. I would say maybe 10, 11, 12. And I think I was going through, first of all, sorry, I meant to say, I think I was going through all of those S thoughts and all of that depression and all of that. Not just because of like family history and stuff like that. Like there's certain things in I can't tell you my health problems, but like certain family history and stuff. But remember I talked about the Ouija board? I think whatever came out of that, my entire life has been trying to drag me down. That's why I'm telling you guys, do not do things like that. And I think during that time in school, the things I was dealing with mentally, struggling with, depression and stuff like that, I think whatever that was trying to really make it worse. Now that I look back, to be quite frank with you, I think that was what was happening, because I had no reason to feel the feelings I was, other than the fact that depression runs in the family. But I was way deep, like I was bad. Very, very bad. And I was very young, on antidepressants, and it was really bad. And there was no real cause for it. But if I look back now, I think that was part of the cause, if you want me to be completely honest with you. But anyways, that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, don't mess with Ouija boards. Pardon my French. But anyway, so let's get back on a good note here. So I feel like for a time when I was younger, I feel like my grandparents were around me. And I remember I wanted to send this guy I was dating, he was like in another city or something like that. I wanted to send him these like really cute pictures of myself when we used to use actual cameras. You would go to Walmart or something and you would buy like a what did they call them? Not a used camera. It was like oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of them. They were just like a camera. You would take the pictures and then they would throw them away. Yeah, before all these cell phones and stuff like that. So anyways, I had these two pictures that I think were really pretty of me, so I sent them to I wanted to send them to him. So I'm looking through the picture, like the thing that the pictures are in, they're not there. So I'm praying, and I'm praying to my grandma, and I say, Grandma, please help me find these pictures. I really, really, really want to send them to the guy's name at the time, and basically I was praying to my grandma for that. So I go to the wall. Let me say this. I took the pictures, check again, they're not in there, put them at the bottom of the suitcase, put my clothes on and everything, and then I'm going to, sorry, my eye's twitching. I'm going to the bathroom to get my toothbrush and toothpaste and stuff. I come back and both pictures were perfectly side by side. And I was like, what the F? I might start swearing on this channel. I don't really know. I'm trying to keep it friendly, PG. And I was like, what the F? And I was like, Mom? And then I was calling for my brother. And then I was so stunned that I was even like, Frisky, which was like my cat at the time, but there is no way a cat could have done that. Like, no way, and just no way. So yeah, and then the next day I had a ring on my finger that was my grandmother's, that my mother gave to me. It was an opal ring, and it was so funny because the next day, the reason I know this was her doing it was because this ring you could not get off even with soap and water, okay? It was stuck to my finger to the point where I had a talk with my mom saying, I don't know how we're going to get this off. We might have to get it cut off. And, she was like, is it hurting you? And I'm like, no, but it won't come off. So I fell asleep that night, and the next morning, that ring was off my finger, and I used to sleep with, I'm always, it's weird, I don't sleep in the middle of my bed, I sleep on one side of the bed, so the other side of the bed has always had two pillows. That's just always how I always slept, I still do. And on the other two pillows was that ring, and I'm like, what the heck? How did that get off my finger? There's no way it could have rolled off in my sleep at night. And even if I was rolling around, this thing was like glued to my finger, like I'm trying to tell you, to the point where soap and water couldn't get it off. I tried everything, Vaseline, like petroleum jelly, soaps, different soaps, everything. And it was beside my pillow the next morning. So that was an indication of my grandmother showing me it was me. I put those pictures there for you. And I just wanted to, so that was like one of my first paranormal instances. Now, the ones that I'm going to be getting into, I'm just warning you guys, and I will be giving some trigger warnings to some of them when I get to them down the road. Some of them are a little out there, but I'm just being honest, and I'm coming on here, and if you enjoy my stories, that's great. If you don't enjoy my stories, you can just, pass on by. I like to be kind, and just don't be mean, guys. Just be nice to each other. Be nice to people online, But anyways, I was thinking back to my car accident. I got thinking while I was talking here. I'm thinking back to my car accident. Now, if you guys have a little bit longer to listen, I'm going to tell you kind of what happened. So I was walking on the sidewalk to high school one day, and an intoxicated driver, on purpose, long story, which I'll never probably get into. It's quite a long story, but it doesn't even matter. Even the story doesn't matter. Anyways. So I'm walking on the sidewalk, and a drunk driver, intoxicated driver, I should say, drove up behind me. And I had headphones on. I still remember what I was listening to. I was listening to Slipknot. It was the first album they came out with, the original album. And so I had my headphones on, so I couldn't hear. And so I was looking the other way, so I couldn't see. I was told, because I don't know, that some of my friends tried to push me out of the way but couldn't get to me. And so the car came up behind me, hit me, And apparently, what I was told by the people, my friends who saw me, it said that I looked like a flying human noodle, which makes sense because I didn't see it. And the only reason that the doctors think I'm alive today, the only answer they can come up with, because the answer is you really probably should be dead. We have no idea how you managed to make it through that. Well, I don't believe it was just luck, and I don't believe it was just chance that that happened to me. To be honest with you, there's two possibilities, okay? And they might coincide together. There's two possibilities we've come up with. One, because I didn't see or hear it, my body was just like a limp noodle. So I didn't break anything, but slowly over time, I started incurring spinal injuries, and that's why I said I'm disabled. So when you see me on here, that's why I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I come on here raw. I have really long hair. It's tied up right now because it's really, really, really long. I have really, really long hair, guys. And I'm tired and it's tied up because I want to go lay down after this video. But so yeah, so it was either the car hit me and I didn't hear or see it, and I was just not tensed up is the word they use, so I didn't tense up. So my body was free and flying, so that kept me alive. But if you want me to be honest with what I know, I believe that I have spirit guides, or at least that day I had a spirit guide. I don't know if I have spirit guides, but I definitely think I have a spirit guide. And I've been trying to get in touch with my spirit guides or guide recently. This is something new for me that maybe we'll talk about. I do feel like I have one. I'm working on opening my third eye. So, but the problem is there's pros and cons to doing that. So I'm not quite there yet. So I do believe a spirit guide saved my life that day, if you want my honest, truthful answer. Or it could have been a bit of both, but I really do believe. I've heard about so many people, and unfortunately, a lot of people I know got hit by cars from behind. A lot of them from behind, actually, because a lot of people are walking on the street, and then cars come up. So a lot of people got hit from behind. Not too long ago, someone I knew, unfortunately, it was the exact same scenario, and they passed away. And it was very unfortunate and sad. I'm very much against drinking and driving, or driving intoxicated. Here in Canada, weed is legal now. My personal beliefs is that you should not smoke and drive. Even a lot of people feel like because they've smoked so much, or like they're good with smoking weed, that they're okay to drive. But the fact of the matter is, they've done tests, and your brain reaction is 35% not as quick when you're smoking weed. It's just a fact. So that's just my opinion. That's just my belief. And I'm not going to tell people what to do. That's not what I'm here for. But guys, think about your actions. Think about, if you're a driver, please try and be safe, and please don't skimp on using your blinkers, or not putting if you have to stop, putting those your four-way lights on and stuff. Like, just the basic things they teach you, don't skimp on those, because you could really hurt yourself or hurt someone else by doing that, especially when you're driving on the highway and stuff like that, and you're trying to swerve through cars and stuff. Yeah, just be safe, guys. If you're a driver, just try and be the safest driver you can be. But that's not what we're here for. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to come on and maybe share a little bit of a couple stories, and my mind kind of got going to a couple other things, so I decided to talk about that. And I think that's really it for today. So be kind and rewind, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.